Cheltenham is upon us, thank goodness, and I'm joined by one of the game's great characters and achievers, much to my amazement, Davy Russell. Davy, you are a pivotal player as ever this year with the Gold Cup favourite, but let's go back in time for your... When I first came across you, you were champion point-to-point rider in Ireland, and what are your first Cheltenham memories?
Well, from an Irish perspective, it was Cheltenham was always, it was so far away from me as I was growing up.
Yeah.
I distinctly, my first memory was going to the small betting shop in the town, taken off of school, myself and a friend. He had backed Shularag at 33-1 to win the stairs hurdle. I had been going to point-to-points every Sunday with my mum and dad, and Lovely Citizen was running in the Hunter's Chase.
Eugene
O'Sullivan. And I distinctly remember standing at the back of the betting office on my tippy toes, overflowing onto the street, because obviously it was the only way most people got to see it. And I just thought, this is the biggest sporting event of the world, and it kind of grew from there. I think Cheltenham just kept rising. The older I got and the closer I got to actually taking part in it, I just was in awe of the place.
And as a kid, didn't you ride a finish on Dawn Run for one of the races there on the armchair, or sitting on the armchair, the arm of the armchair?
Yeah, I can remember as the old kitchen in the house at home, and dust rising off of the couch, and I literally I was screaming at the top of my voice, and I didn't know one hair on Dawn Run's head. She was just this figure that in Ireland we could relate to, and she was loved for an animal to be loved as much, you just couldn't imagine.
And because the Irish always have this capacity for literally taking certain horses to their hearts, and she was one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of, they become public property, and she was, one, and obviously, there was horses before her and there's horses after her, but...
From Arkle through to Denoli to whatever.
Correct, yeah.
But those ones that actually touch the chord in people's hearts.
That's right, and I don't know why it is. It can be a name, it can be a trainer, an owner.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is. I see Tiger Roll as one of them. I whether it's his name or his stature or what he does, he's just... The amount of people, age groups, I got a letter in the post recently, asking me to describe Tiger Roll to this 8-year-old child. It's amazing, and they are the
You
bits.
said to the 8-year-old, "You're taller than he is."
Yeah.
I was there the night Mags O'Toole and the O'Learys bought Tiger Roll for 80 grand at Cheltenham, and you looked at him and you thought, well, you might get a couple of it. I mean, Triumph Hurdle was the idea, and
that's right.
It duly happened, but you looked at him and thought, this is a cheap horse at this sale. One's going for 200 grand plus, as there always are, but look what he's done. Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
We'll come back to him, but your first visits to Cheltenham, when do you first actually go?
And never as a spectator. Obviously my dad used to go, and the beauty of it, and I just saw the other day, you'd know when he had a good week or a bad week. I saw the other day, I still have a Jeep and a horse box, and it was the old Land Rover Jeep that is associated so closely with horses, and I got that back from Cheltenham, and I still have it, and so I remember Dad going to this magical place, and
coming back with tales of what they were up to.
Yeah, and
not all of the tales.
No,
but
and presents differed from a stick of rock to a expensive toy.
To a smack round the chops, it would have been a disaster.
That's right, yeah, yeah. And then I got a phone call. I remember it, Ferdy Murphy riding as an amateur. It could have been maybe a month beforehand to go to Carlisle to ride a horse in a handicap chase, that with the view that he was going to go to Cheltenham, that I would sit on him first. And as it turned out, Adrian Maguire, who was Ferdy's stable jockey, beat me in that race, and then we went on to Cheltenham, and I rode in the Kimure, finished 5th. Thought it was, never went as quick in my life. couldn't believe all of this, and it was what it had.
And you know how different the atmosphere in the weighing room and things like that. It is totally different, is it not?
It is. As an amateur, I had a different.
Mind your P's and Q's, presumably, and sort of looking at all these superstars.
And it was just in your road and you got out.
Yeah.
And that was it. You got them brief couple of hours to get involved in it, but you felt like I need to get out of here because this is a very, very busy place and I'm in the way. So that was my first experience of it. I got in and I got out, and we enjoyed the few days. It was a time to get away from the mundane ins and outs of at home, and we enjoyed ourselves as an amateur. And then as a professional, I suppose I was lucky. As a professional, one of my first festival as a professional was I'd ride in the Gold Cup. That I was working in England at the time.
What was that?
Trucker's Tavern.
Yeah.
Ferdy was really sweet on him. He'd run in an Arkle the year before and ran well over 2 miles. We knew he wanted 3 and plus, and he had a reasonable year. He'd won a Tommy Whittle and things, and Ferdy was very keen on him.
And Ferdy was a very good man at the meeting.
The problem with Ferdy, if the Gold Cup had to go off at 5 minutes late, the horse would be gone over the top. He had him on the button, just ready to go, and I'll never forget it. He was a brilliant man. Ferdy, inside in the parade ring, race goalie, his owner, they're a brilliant man again. Yes. Just like you're in Drummahan, he says, this is no different. He said, you ride the same race, the same mentality. He says, just go out and ride the way we know you're capable of riding.
Sort of defusing any nerves.
Absolutely.
In you,
I just went out.
Day's work.
He was a big price, but really in the yard, because I was in the yard every morning. They were expecting him to run really, really well. Obviously, it was best mate era, and that took the shine off it as well. But it set the tone for me in Cheltenham after that day with Ferdy. That the way what he expected of me was just to ride.
And it stuck with you in your mind.
It did.
Isn't it? And
yeah.
It's an approach you still try and take.
Exactly.
But there must be days when you get wound up and.
There's a lot of days I get wound up.
Well, that's true. Yes.
But not so in Cheltenham.
Right.
It is the one festival that, if you win the Terrier race on Thursday morning, that's a success. I kind of like to leave Cheltenham without leaving anything behind me.
Yeah.
If I can go through the day, give them all a good ride, best possible position I can finish in, I'm happy. Because it's so difficult to ride winners there, and I've just been lucky enough to have success there, and I've the joy of riding for some very talented trainers and some great owners. So.
And you mentioned the very first time that you were astonished by the rate at which they went, the speed. It is sort of like a parallel universe in terms of pace.
That's right. You can ride in a normal race and let them go quick and let them be the quickest race you ever rode in, but you don't finish. In Cheltenham, you go that quick and you turn into the straight and you have to go again. You have to go again. The horse has to go again, and you have to jump every obstacle. And
position is crucial, isn't it? I mean, you can lose the race the first 3 or 4 flights of fence.
I'm sure people wonder why there's such a hassle at the start of a 3 mile, 2 mile, whatever event. You've loads of time to get in your position. You don't. You have about 15 to 30 seconds. And them first 15 to 30 seconds dictate the rest of the race. So there is the reason why there is so much hustle and bustle at the start is because they are very, very important. And a lot of the time, the fastest part of a race can be them 30 seconds.
Because everyone's desperate to be in position.
Yeah,
and they don't want to be stuck to the outer, and
that's
they
right.
don't be too far back.
Yeah, and then there's certain horses that need to go on the outside and need to be here and need to be there, and you need to have your homework done. That look, he's out there for a reason. I don't really want to be outside him because he's staying out there, Or lucky enough in the 2 mile start, you have a bang straight run. So if you start on the outside, you have a chance to come in. And the 2.5 on the inside, you have a bang straight run as well. But once you start turning, that's.
And I think sometimes people don't understand about Cheltenham. It's a battle of wits between the jockeys because you're trying to mask how well you're going or whatever. You've got your eyes on certain other people because you know exactly how they're going to ride their race. So it's much more complex than getting on a horse, getting it to jump, and hoping it'll finish. It is a tactical. It's like a game of chess, but at a million miles an hour, like high-speed chess.
Yeah, but I suppose really, if you can get the basics right, you know, and you put your platform down to each race, you know, it's you know, somewhere between 5 to 7 or 8 minutes. That's your time scale, but your basics start maybe 10 minutes before you go out. You need to get everything, you know, and once you have the platform, it makes the rest of it easier, if you know what I mean. You can see other things going on because you have your platform is set.
And you love all that side of it, trying to outwit, because it is, you're trying to outwit people you are mates with, but obviously not out there, but you're trying to make them look a bit stupid tactically.
Yeah, it's more so the horse. For me, it's more so the horse that's on the edge.
Yes.
To control. What really turns me on is the control that if you don't get it right, that flips to the other side, and that's you done.
It's cooked.
Yeah. So I like to get that line, that level line, that you have them under control, just under control enough, and they're expressing enough energy, and then, you know, it's different stages of the race. You go down the back straight in Cheltenham because it's so undulating that you have certain times of this course to fill up and use a horse when you need to use him. And you see a lad getting away from you down the back, you either think he's not coming back, or you either think we're going way too quick. But that's, you know, sometimes you can judge it right and sometimes you can judge it wrong, and you live on that. That's the line you live on. You can either fool or you do your job correctly.